Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to get into a topic that, well, it connects pretty much all of us.
No matter where you live or what you do for a living.
Exactly. We're talking about jobs,
Mhm.
work life, and, just being able to talk about what you do clearly, the good, the bad, the day-to-day, is such a valuable skill.
It's the ultimate icebreaker, really,
Yeah.
and it tells you so much about a person's life starting from the moment they wake up.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, maybe your morning is total chaos, the cat decides 5 a.m. is breakfast time, and there goes your peace and quiet.
Right.
Or maybe you get that perfect, peaceful hour, a warm drink, a book, just quiet.
That contrast, that little bit of chaos versus structure, really sets the stage for our professional lives, doesn't it? It all leads back to work.
It does. So looking at the material we have today, we're not just reading job descriptions. We're trying to pull out the real lived experience.
That's the mission. We're going to unpack the routines, the challenges, and I think importantly, the rewards of two really different jobs.
A graphic designer and a teacher.
Exactly. The intense focus of a computer screen versus the constant energy of a classroom. By diving deep into these, we can see what really makes a job feel meaningful. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start in that digital world with the graphic designer. This is a creative field through and through.
It's all about turning ideas into something you can actually see.
Right. And think about designing a logo, that one little picture that has to represent an entire company.
It's about boiling an entire identity down into a single mark.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating here, what our research really points to, is the almost obsessive level of detail it takes. This is so much more than picking a pretty font.
It's technical.
It's a highly technical. I mean, designers spend hours just wrestling with things like color correction or something called kerning.
Which is?
It's the tiny, tiny space between two letters. They'll adjust it by fractions of a millimeter to make it look right. It's art, but it's also like engineering.
And on top of all that technical work, there's the client, the emotional labor of keeping them happy.
Ugh.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because anyone who's done creative work will know this feeling. The client revision loop.
Ah, the classic. The client asks for a very specific change. You do it perfectly.
And then they see it and say,
You know what? Let's go back to the first version.
but maybe try it in blue.
Exactly. It sounds funny and it can be tiring for the designer, but the source material actually frames this as a necessary part of the process.
How so?
The client often doesn't really know what they want until they see what they don't want. That back and forth is part of their discovery.
So the designer is also a kind of guide.
A guide, a negotiator. They're managing the client's needs just as much as the design itself. But the reward, the real payoff, is that deep satisfaction of making an idea real.
Taking something from inside someone's head and putting it out into the world. So what does a typical day look like? It starts, as you'd expect, at the computer.
Of course. Coffee, checking emails.
And then straight into a long list of tasks. Sketching new ideas on a digital tablet, refining colors, and of course, tackling that list of client revisions.
And their workspace really reflects that. It's a self-contained little world, full of color swatches, probably multiple computer screens for all the detail work.
Maybe a cat wandering around in the background.
Right, for company. But that whole setup, it requires a huge amount of self-motivation, which is something we should definitely come back to when we talk about working from home.
Okay, so we've seen the quiet digital world of the designer. Now let's completely switch gears.
To the noise.
Yes, to the high-energy, very loud world of a teacher in a classroom of young kids, say 6 to 10-year-olds. The contrast is sharp.
It's an immediate shift from quiet focus to total sensory overload. The classroom is described as a hive of activity.
I could just picture it. It's bright colors everywhere.
Bright colors, books, maps, toys, and most of all, just this constant sound of excited, high-pitched voices.
And the work itself is so hands-on. The source material talks about activities like, singing songs about the days of the week.
Or learning weather words, playing simple games, reading short stories out loud.
It's constant, active engagement. It must be physically and mentally exhausting.
Absolutely. And if you look at their routine, it's incredibly structured even before the kids arrive. Teachers get there early, right?
An hour or more before the first bell.
And it's not just to sit out books. They're mentally mapping out the day, preparing the flow of lessons. That cheerful morning song they sing,
Yeah.
that's not just for fun. It's a classroom management tool. It signals, okay, it's time to focus now.
It's amazing how time must fly by in that environment.
Yeah.
The energy from the kids is just infectious.
It is. And that leads right into the core reward for a teacher. It's not about a finished product like a logo.
It's about a person.
It's about that immediate human impact. The teacher feels this incredible pride, this genuine happiness when a child finally gets it, that light bulb moment.
When they learn a new word or solve a problem they've been stuck on.
Exactly. It's a profound kind of satisfaction.
You know, there's a really nice detail in the source material that sums it all up for me. The large world map you often see in classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
The kids gather around it, they point to places, and they ask for the names of countries they've never heard of. That map is literally a symbol of their world expanding.
That's a perfect image, and it's a great way to start comparing the skills needed for both of these jobs.
Because they're so different, but both demand these really specific talents.
With a teacher, it's all about, well, emotional stability and structure.
Yeah.
You have to be incredibly patient.
I can't even imagine the level of patience required.
Right. And deeply organized.
Yeah.
And kind, because kids are constantly asking questions, testing boundaries. They need a safe, predictable space to learn.
Whereas the designer skills are more about visual creativity and technical knowledge.
Yes, you have to know the software, the file formats, the whole digital workflow. But also, and this is key, you need amazing communication skills.
To understand the client.
To really listen and understand what the client is trying to say, even when they don't have the words for it. It's like being a translator for ideas.
And this brings us to where they work, the logistics. A teacher usually walks to a small school nearby, a fixed physical place.
But the designer, more and more, works from home. Their whole office is a computer.
And that raises this really modern question about what the source calls lonely freedom.
It's a great phrase, because working from home is comfortable, it's flexible, but that lack of casual, in-person contact with coworkers, it can be really isolating.
Video meetings help, I guess.
They do, but it's just not the same. You miss the spontaneous chats, the little moments of connection you get in an office.
And for the designer, working from home comes with its own specific challenges. That self-motivation we mentioned.
It's huge. There's no boss literally looking over your shoulder.
And then there's the physical side of it. Digital fatigue, just staring at a bright screen all day. Your eyes get so tired.
You have to be disciplined about taking breaks, looking away. It's a contrast to the teacher whose fatigue is more physical and auditory from all the noise.
For the designer, it's about managing your own energy in silence.
Right. And this then spills over into the social part of remote work.
The online meetings.
Yes, the video calls. The research points out something we've probably all experienced.
Let me guess. The one or two colleagues who talk. A lot.
And the meeting goes on forever.
Yes.
But what's interesting is the source suggests it's not always seen as a bad thing. Sometimes that person's humor, even if they're rambling, provides that little bit of social connection everyone is missing.
It becomes a substitute for the office water cooler chat.
Exactly. It serves a purpose, even if it's not very efficient.
So if we pull back from the daily grind, the revision lists and the lesson plans, what does this all mean for the bigger picture?
It means thinking about purpose and about dreams that go beyond the job you have right now.
What does a designer or a teacher dream of?
Well, often the dreams are about amplifying what they love about their job or escaping what they don't. A designer might dream of being a pilot.
To travel.
Not just to travel, but to get new visual perspectives, seeing landscapes from above. A teacher, maybe exhausted from managing a classroom, might dream of being a chef.
That's an interesting one.
It's about finding comfort in a process that's controlled, where the result is predictable and, well, delicious.
Or maybe they dream of being a tour guide, using their love of explaining things to share the history of their city. The point is, these dreams connect the daily tasks to a bigger sense of purpose.
And every single role has responsibilities that do that, whether it's helping a child learn to read or delivering a finished logo on time.
Meeting those responsibilities is what brings that feeling of satisfaction. And then the workday ends, and we see this universal need to just decompress.
To switch gears. People have their little rituals to relax, right? Maybe you put on a comedy show to just hear something different after a quiet day.
Or go for a long walk to clear your head after staring at a screen.
Some people might tidy their home, a small, controllable task. Or meet up with friends for coffee. It's this acknowledgement that jobs are tiring, but that feeling of accomplishment at the end of the day. That's what brings purpose.
A good day's work.
So if we had to pull all of this into one final takeaway, it would be this. Knowing how to talk about your work, your schedule, your coworkers, your dreams, It helps you express your own life so much more clearly.
It's more than just language practice.
It's mastering the language of your own reality.
That's a perfect way to put it. And it makes me think, if every workspace tells a story, from that big world map in the classroom to the colors on a designer's desk, what about your own workspace?
Hmm.
What's the one specific, unique detail in your space? Maybe it's a tool you use or a picture on your desk or just a little ritual you have. What's the thing that best describes the purpose you find in your work?
That's a great question to reflect on.
We'll leave you to consider that detail. Thanks for diving deep with us.